it's like with, oops, tell us what it's been like working with Matthew Stafford.
It's been very nice, just from our Zoom meetings, hearing him just speak about the offense and some of his reads, and just coming over and seeing what he's done already. In the week we had, great touch, great quarterback, great addition to our offense and to our team.
How long does it take for, wide receiver, quarterback to kind of get to know each other and gel together? Is it just like a time thing? You just have to put in more time, or?
I would just say I don't know how long it takes, but really just communicating, telling them what you want, telling them, where you like the ball. We get a lot of reps out here at practice. So a lot of just repetition, practice make perfect.
Lastly, for me, what's it been like working with rookies this year?
So far, what is it? Day two with the rookies.
Yep.
Yeah, so far so good. Rookies are making plays, really attentive to grasp our offense and grasp just our team philosophy. Players are honed in, trying to see what it takes to get to a Super Bowl and what it takes to be prepared at the NFL level.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Nick?
Hey, Robert, how you doing?
How you doing, Nick?
Doing good. You talked about the rookies a moment ago. Tutu Atwell, what have you seen out of him thus far, and what do you see in him that you feel like this kid really has something special?
Right now, just you look at his size and you look at a player of his caliber being at this level. Obviously plays with a ton of heart and speed, and that's what I've seen these past few days. Seeing him, his quickness at the line with the releases, and then being able to get downfield fast, find the ball. I think he'd be a great addition to our offense. Because you got to play with swagger. He has that attitude and knows how to do things with the ball in his hand.
You've also been able to obviously connect with Cooper Kupp for many years, but then now you have Deshaun Jackson, you have Van Jefferson coming back in his second year. What is that chemistry like in the locker room amongst just the wide receivers?
Chemistry is really tight. Really just bringing everybody along. Me and Cooper, we've been here the longest, but really just taking that leadership role, getting Deshaun acclimated with our offense and how we do things. Having just talking to Van, trying to excel his game to where we know we can count on him to make big plays and be dominant this year in our offense. It's literally just guys all across our receiver room. We're like working on each other's game, teaching each other notes, really just trying to perfect our craft as receivers.
And lastly, obviously, you changed the number to number 2. You went back to the Sarah High days. What was that like for you, just kind of reliving that moment and now you're heading into this season?
Yeah, just seeing the rumors come about early last year that this potential change could be happening. And then it, coming into play, I think it was just a huge opportunity to switch over into a number I wore since the beginning of football for me in Carson Coach days. So it's a number that I wore at every level, and then having a chance to wear it at this NFL level is super special. Here in LA, here in the hometown, I think it just brings, I don't know, just memories back for a lot of people, even myself, just the beginning of football.
Thank you, Robert.
Kevin?
Hi, Robert. How does the arrival of Deshaun Jackson and Tutu Atwell affect what you do?
I wouldn't say it affects me much, other than just bringing some speed on our offense, making plays. I think I don't think it affects me. I think it's going to be affecting the defenses this year with these additions. We're going to be coming at them with a lot of speed, a lot of weapons in our rotation. We're just loaded at the receiver position. So I think throughout the game, you'll be getting hit with a lot of different type of styles of receivers. Hopefully defenses can match up well.
But does that free you up or Cooper up to do what you do a little more, having that extra dimension?
Yeah, I would say any of these receivers that we add was going to add to our offense, especially just having Van Jefferson become a bigger role in our offense. All these things, all these players do different things and what they bring to our offense. is going to be a really great combination, hitting you all around the field, downfield, fly sweeps, intermediate, screens. I think everybody can contribute in every single way.
And then the last thing from me, I'm curious how you take it, since you've been a consistent, highly productive contributor to a receiver core that's had a lot to brag about over the last few years. When the season ends and Sean and Les Snead are talking about wanting to soup up the passing game and add a dimension to the receiver core, do you take any slight in something like that? I would.
No, I mean at this level, it's a team sport. It takes all 11 guys. You want to have the best guys on your team. I think what I do, I feel like I'm confident in my ability, confident in my game, to be out there and be able to help produce for this team in any way the coach asks. So I see it as whoever, weapons, running backs, receivers, quarterbacks. We got a team goal. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. So we need loaded team. I know we bringing in receivers. They do things differently, but they also help bring explosiveness to our offense, into our passing game.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, Kevin.
Gary?
Did you know Deshaun, before he joined the Rams, or did you have a relationship with him before he joined the team?
Yeah, a little bit. I've known Deshaun Jackson since his Long Beach Poly days. My cousin Alex Watson played receiver with him during that time, so I actually saw him like in his younger days at Long Beach Poly. Watched him then and watched him at Cal, and then getting into the league, just having that LA connection. We've always spoke, always just called up, asked how the family was doing, and now actually being on the same team, I think it's kind of super cool. Just someone you watch grow up in his football career as well, and now he's on the same team in LA. Really just coming out here and just have a LA connection and dominate out here.
In regard to Matthew Stafford, I know you've only been out there a couple days, but did you guys do any throwing sessions before the organized team activities began? And if so, or even if not, how is he different, if at all, so far from other quarterbacks you've played with in the NFL?
Yeah, I would say just due to, I know he had an off-season thumb surgery, so he's been going on ice for a little bit, and really just being able to get with him these past couple of days or past week, and so but really just throwing with him. His throwing is on point, able to deliver the ball very well, and I think ever since now and from now on till season, we'll be connecting, throwing with him leading up to game one. But yeah, him as a quarterback, I mean, he's a vet quarterback. Really honing in on picking up this offense very fast, because we all got plans. We need him to learn it and be ready to go right away. And really just his attention to listen to receivers, wanting to still get better at his level and at his year is super big. I think from a receiver standpoint, your quarterback asking you, what do you want from this, or what do you see in this route? I think it's super, super big, because he's coming to our offense with some receivers who made plays, but really just trying to make us feel comfortable in year whatever he is in.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, today is the anniversary of George Floyd. And I know when we were speaking with you last year around this time, you seemed, very outspoken about it, and seemed to a wake-up call for a lot of NFL players to reflect publicly on what was happening. I'm just curious, a year later, as you reflect on what's happened, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, it's actually just crazy to think about, just that it's a year, just everything that happened from this point last year. A lot of things that changed. A lot of eyes have been opened. Just a lot of attention has been brought to what's been going on across America. I think it's been super impactful. Just the players being able to voice their opinion and speak on these things. The NFL getting involved, the NBA getting involved. A lot of people speaking up at their offices. I think it was super impactful, and just to see where we've come in a year brings joy to me. But I think there's still ways to go. But just from a year, I think it's been very well, large growth.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Gary.
We'll wrap up with Eric, Kurt, and then Jordan, please.
Hey, Robert, you mentioned a couple different times that you guys are seeking to reach the Super Bowl, and you've kind of been the trendy pick by a number of different publications. Do you embrace that role, that role of being a potential Super Bowl favorite and getting back to where you were a couple years ago?
I mean, yeah, last time we were picked to go to the Super Bowl, we went, so I think that's a good thing. So just right now, it's obviously just talks and goals and potential. But right now, you see all the weapons that we have on our offense, our defense. A lot of the guys coming back, and guys even stepping in to make plays this year. We're a loaded team. We have all the parts. We have all the pieces to get to where we need to go. Now, as you see, now the work takes place. It's all on the players now, players and the coaches. Get our wins, finish games, protect the ball, all these things. We have the players. Now we just got to put it together correctly every single week.
And then one last thing, Robert, you mentioned all the playmakers that you have on offense. That might be less touches for you. I know as a receiver, you want the football. How do you balance that, wanting to get your touches so you can be impactful? Yet, Stafford's going to look for a lot of different guys because there's so many guys that can make plays on offense.
Do my job. I would say be open, run my routes crisp, be an open target. I know there's a lot of guys where the ball is going to need to go, and they may want their touches. But my job is to be open, be an open target. So I can take care of what I can, and that's be an open target for Matthew. I take pride in that, every single route being the open option for the quarterback, and we'll go from there.
Are you going to go back to the huddle and let Stafford know you're open on that last play?
Of course, I always let the quarterback know I was open. It's just you got to stay in his ear, be a reminder, and it's true.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Eric.
Hey, Robert, going back to everything that we've been talking about the Super Bowl, obviously you want to not just get there, you want to win it. And the year you went there, you guys were an extremely explosive team with a lot of deep threat. From what you've seen them do in the offseason at quarterback, wide receiver, and in the draft, I know you don't win games on paper, but how do you compare this team to that Super Bowl team?
It's a different team. It's a totally different team when you really look at it. I don't know. I see like that kind of me coming here. That era, it was like Gurley's era. Gurley's team.
Yeah,
we were riding off of our run game, being able to be hit well off the play action, downfield, open up a lot of crossers across the middle for myself, and Cooper Kupp. Really, we're just striking all over the field, and I credit that to our beast of running back Todd Gurley. A lot of attention was given to Todd, and then the passing game grew from there. I think right now, what you see our offense and see the quarterback addition, Cam, going into his second year, being starting to take over at the running back position. I think it's a whole different style offense. We'll see. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what it is and what it's going to look like, but just the additions, you see a lot of speed in the backfield position, the receiver position, the quarterback who can stretch the ball downfield. So it's really exciting just to see all the pieces. But really, once they come into play, seeing whether we, attacking the screen game, the play action, or straight deep balls. I think that's still to be discovered in training camp in week 1, and I think will grow as the season grows.
And secondly, the schedule came out. As a player, how much do you look at the schedule and dwell on it, memorize it, look at, hey, we'll be at back-to-back road games or traveling? What's your thoughts on the schedule?
The schedule is the schedule. It is whoever they put on the schedule. It doesn't really matter. My thing, I always just go to November, December. Where are we going? We going east. We going cold. I check that out, and then I check out our primetime games, our Monday nights, our Sunday nights. And we got to get them out. This coming year.
And last thing, I appreciate all your time here, Robert. Just to piggyback on what Gary said about the year anniversary of George Floyd, because you've been outspoken and you've been a leader in that with social justice, you'd mentioned we still have a long way to go. What would you like to see done? Is there anything you want to still do in that area?
I would say just kind of like keep doing what we're doing, keep correcting the wrong, just holding people accountable. Players still being able to give back in their community, speaking out on these things, having the confidence to have a voice and not sit back. I think all these things are growth and allow just people to speak their mind and correct these wrongs. I think as long as we keep paying attention to this thing, I think the growth and development will come as people grow and people learn about more cultures. You see, even later in the year, Asian cultures were being attacked and everything like this. So it's just something that's people need to bring attention to. Minorities are here. We're here to stay. Really, just let's all make things work.
Appreciate you, Robert. Thank you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Robert. First of all, thank you for your comments on that. Very, very appreciated. And I wanted to ask you about working with the quarterback and establishing timing. And with timing such a key factor of how the passing concepts develop in this offense, is there anything past just repping it that you guys do or are able to do, whether it's a collaborative discussion or little, maybe, I don't know if you could tell me like tricks of the trade, but little things that you guys can do behind the scenes to really establish that rhythm and that sequencing from his steps and his dropbacks to your steps and your breaks and things like that?
Yeah, even like little things. Just last week, we were running a concept, and he was like, yeah, I was kind of feeling a little off on that, just timing wise, the steps. And I told him like, hey, if you don't feel comfortable and you're ready to throw it now, I'll be ready. Whatever makes you comfortable. Like, we're the ones out there playing. If you're ready to throw it, I'll get my eyes back and I'll be ready for you. Little things like that. But I think one thing that's really big, I would say, it matters, is the film study. You're not able to get these reps all the time, physically, even just your body being worn out, all the different coverages, different looks. So really just the film study, personal film study, even if we're watching it together. Sometimes I'll watch film, I'll record a clip and I'll send it to him and say, hey, we haven't ran this concept, but if I get the ball right here in this window, this is a great area for us to have, being able to have yards after the catch. Being able to just sit down together in meetings and whisper to them during meetings, hey, you can throw this backside, I'll be open for you. Just little things like that, the communication, building trust. So when you do have these looks in the game, it's like you already had a mental rep, or in our case, a virtual rep.
And then in terms of building a relationship with the quarterback, not just yourself, but as a total group, is that really a key factor in it, is the empowerment to have those really open and honest conversations in that regard?
Yeah, you have to. You got to be honest. You got to have trust. You got to be able to really trust at football. I mean, especially our position, you really got to trust everybody. You got to trust your lineman. You got to trust your quarterback, and trust the defense is going to be in the right, coverage for you to get the ball. But really, it's just communication, building that bond on and off the field, on timeouts, communicating on the bench, communicating on the sideline. And then from a receiver position, we just try to fine tune everybody's game, empower everybody, have them have the confidence that, you're a playmaker, you're a dog. So as soon as you get in, if we need a breather or if it's your rotation, that you go out there and you have the confidence that you're the best on the field, and you can make the same plays and dominate like you've always have been. So really, it's just building that confidence, building that trust from quarterback, receiver, and build it all across your whole team.
And then just one more for me, and I really appreciate all the time you've given us today. Last year around this time, you were talking to us about how you were trying to find like any high school to work out at, and I remember you hopped a couple fences and whatnot. Just is there kind of just a release of some of that stress of logistics this year, now that you guys, I'm assuming, have a plan in place and have had your own personal plans in terms of getting back to normal?
A little bit, no. Gotta keep my training fields quiet. Just trying to get it in while I can. But really, that was a part of coming up to this facility. A lot of the players were training on their own off-season plans, and at this time, we had receivers that wanted to get with Stafford and start throwing with him personally on our own. We wanted to use this field, great grass, and then OTAs came about.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. We got Jordan here right for you too. So
Thank
just
you,
a
guys.
second.